Everyone loves taking a nice, refreshing dip on a hot day. It gets even more fun when you venture outside the confines of a pool and go to a natural body of water such as a river, lake, or the ocean. But as tempting as many of these places look to jump into, there is sometimes reason to exercise caution. Dangers lurk in the waters that may not be visible to the naked eye, and some of these dangers could result in sickness, injury, or even death. So before you decide to go swimming somewhere besides a pool, check out these 5 places found around Earth where you should never go swimming. Located in the country of Zambia is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, Victoria Falls. These falls along the Zambezi River are some of the most majestic sights that anyone can set their eyes on. It isn't the tallest waterfall in the world by any means. However, what sets these falls apart from the rest is the fact that it is over a mile wide and drops into a gorge, producing a continuous cloud of mist that can be seen from miles around. Over millions of years, water erosion has carved out some of the most unique rock pools in the river. One of them is right at the edge of the falls and is known as the Devil's Pool. Swimmers venture into these waters because the rock pool is right beside the drop-off, leading to an incredible view and even better pictures. It is nature's ultimate infinity pool. When you see it though, the danger is evident. Swimmers can go right up to the edge of the falls and stare straight down into the abyss. All it takes is one swift current, a careless miscalculation, or some act of stupidity, and a person will go over the edge to certain death. Locals, however, will defend the safety of the falls and recommend anyone to make the trip up. As a matter of fact, there are a number of tours available. To date, no one on these tours has ever been swept over the edge. But, as we all know, someone has to be the first. Some of the greatest sources of wonder and fascination in the world are myths and legends. We typically don't associate them with history because no one knows if they're true or not. However, when you go to where these myths and legends abound, you're sure to find a number of locals who will swear to their authenticity. It is here where some of the world's most curious minds have been attracted to investigate and see whether or not these local legends actually exist. In the dense Amazonian forests of Peru is such a myth: a river that was hot enough to boil. Of course, people know of things such as geysers and thermal pools that are fed by geothermal heat. But in the hundreds of years that people have lived in this Peruvian area, no one has been able to actually get documentation of this mysterious river. Supposedly, the headwaters were marked with a boulder in the shape of a snake's head. It was thought to be nothing more than just a tall tale. Until 2011, when a student from a university in Texas happened upon it as they were mapping out thermal areas in the country. Upon arriving in the country to inspect, he traveled over 4 hours to find a stretch of water nearly 4 miles long that ranged in temperature from 120 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit and measured almost 16 feet deep. It was surrounded by 60-foot-tall, dense forests. The mud was too hot to walk on, and if you fell in, your skin would be covered in severe burns. It was an incredibly unique yet terrifying discovery. The reason for the hot temperature is believed to be geothermal activity below the surface. India is one of the most religious countries in the world. One place in particular that is sacred to the people there is the Ganges River. It is the largest river in India and provides water to about 40% of the country's population. However, there is one humongous problem. The Ganges River has been ranked as the 5th most polluted river in the world. And when we say it's polluted, we mean it is absolutely disgusting. There are a number of different sources for the pollution of the Ganges. One of the biggest contributors is human waste. The river flows through 100 cities with populations of over 100,000, 97 cities with populations between 50,000 and 100,000, and another 48 towns. In nearly every populated area, the river is used as the place where all the human waste is dumped, and there is a lot of it. Additionally, there are a number of chemical plants, textile mills, tanneries, distilleries, and slaughterhouses. So, The Ganges River also catches a lot of industrial waste. As the huge river plays a major part in the country's Hindu religion, it is customary for people to bathe in it. While the belief is that cleansing themselves in the river is a way to wash themselves of past sins, what they're also doing is bathing in the human waste and dangerous chemicals from the millions of people further upstream. To cap it all off, it is believed that disposing of a dead person's ashes into the river will absolve the deceased of any sins committed during life. Personally, I think I'll avoid taking a dip here. Lakes found within quarries are some of the most popular attractions for people looking for amazing places to swim. Oftentimes, it's at these lakes where people learn to cliff jump or scuba dive. But in spite of their incredible draw, it is easy to forget that quarries are or were centers of industrial activity. The Blue Lagoon is a quarry lake located at a disused limestone quarry in Derbyshire, England. Limestone was extracted here between 1835 and 1952. Additionally, this quarry was also used by the Royal Air Force as a chemical weapons storage depot during World War II. After being abandoned, the lake that sits in it has attracted tens of thousands of people to take a dip in its beautiful turquoise waters. This is where the danger comes in, though. The color comes from the scattering of light by small particles of calcium carbonate found within the water. This quicklime that is dissolved in the water gives it a pH level of 11.3. By comparison, bleach has a pH level of 12.3. There are many signs posted all over the place telling people that swimming will cause skin and eye irritations, stomach problems, and fungal infections. As a way to deter people, black dye has been added to the water over the years. When it would wear off, the water would be re-dyed. Somehow, though, it hasn't stopped everyone from taking a swim. Before we get to our last pick, we bring you an honorable mention. Just off the southeastern part of Sinai, a few kilometers north of Dahab, Egypt, is a popular diving site in the Red Sea known as the Blue Hole. It is a submarine sinkhole, more commonly known as a blue hole. Leading up to this hole is a shallow opening that measures around 6 meters deep. Then it opens up into a 26-meter-long tunnel known as the Arch. The ceiling of the arch is around 55 meters high and the bottom around 120 meters deep. Once you get into the actual hole itself, though, you'll find yourself in water that is around 100 meters deep. It is an incredibly popular spot for diving. However, it is strongly recommended that divers be experts before venturing here. What is masked by the blue hole's beauty is that there have been between 130 and 200 deaths here in recent decades. It is not fully understood what has led to so many deaths. However, it is believed that the tunnel, along with a certain amount of inexperience, has been the downfall of divers who sorely underestimated the situation that they were getting themselves into. Anyone who loves a good glass of wine is familiar with Napa Valley, a scenic area in Northern California located in Napa County. Also located in this county is Lake Berryessa, the largest lake in the county itself. It is actually a large reservoir that was formed from the construction of the Monticello Dam on Puta Creek in the late 1950s. Since the early 60s, the reservoir has provided water and hydroelectricity to the North Bay region of the San Francisco Bay Area. There is one distinct feature of Lake Berryessa that is not easily missed. It is the lake's drain, more commonly known as the Glory Hole. Actually, the official name for this drain is the Morning Glory Spillway, and it is a huge hole in the middle of the lake that controls the water levels. Any time that the water rises above 440 feet, water starts to spill down the hole and into the Puta Creek, hundreds of feet below. As you can already figure, should the water start cascading into the hole, a huge current would form, sucking anything in within a certain radius. To date, there has only been one confirmed death from the Glory Hole. Buoys warn boaters and swimmers to stay away from the area, and anyone foolish enough to cross that line faces the risk of hefty fines, not to mention the risk of death should the current be strong enough. Yes, there are plenty of amazing places to swim in the world. These places can be anything from scenic to thrilling, but nothing is worth risking your life. To see more videos just like this one, click the link on screen now. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.